Hey there, welcome to the 30-Day Year podcast. I'm Jacqueline Conway. I'm here with my husband, Dave, and we're talking about the concept of turning your annual income into your monthly income. And we like to explore different topics, themes, concepts to help make this a very real possibility for you. I would also say if this is new to you, welcome. But also if you've been listening for a while, be sure to check out our 30-Day Year goal setting guide. It helps you get your own 30-day year goal on paper and just makes this concept a little bit more real for you. So I highly recommend it. There's a link in the show notes. You'll be able to click it, download it, and get started. So let's dive in. Our topic today is abundance. And I think this is going to be fun. And I didn't really think much about this word for a very long time. And now I feel like it's got so much more meaning to me. And I know you've got a lot of thoughts on it. So we're going to really dive into that whole thing today. And it's really, I think, a cool way to continue the conversation around permission. We did an episode about permission. And I think that we need to just accept that we're allowed to go for more. There's an abundance out there. And we're going to explore that whole concept today and really give people just that diffuse switch, I don't have to worry so much that if I have more, someone has less. We can kind of get rid of that whole concept. So stick with us. We're going to dive into a lot of topics today, hot topics as it relates to abundance. I feel like the best way to start, Dave, is just to share your opening thoughts on abundance.
On abundance. Yeah. Well, yeah. For me, it wasn't even a word that I just had never thought about.
Yeah.
It was actually a word that I didn't like.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you had strong feelings against it?
Yeah, I had very strong feelings against it.
Why would you feel so bad about it?
I guess maybe in my life at that time, the people that I saw using that word, I felt they were, full of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And they're talking about abundance. And to me, they just kind of look like lazy people that were really not living an abundant life.
Right.
And I would see it through results.
Or maybe it didn't seem ethical to you or something. Or
it just seemed I guess, woo-woo or something. It just all obviously I think there may have been some truths in some of the things they were saying, but they weren't really displaying what they were saying.
Okay.
I guess, religions go through that where a hypocrite.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So I avoided it. And I used to always think, well, abundance is like a large quantity of something. Right? That's the definition, a large quantity of something.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I got an abundance of problems.
Totally. Yeah, it can really go the other way.
Yeah.
I think that the connotation in the modern world is that abundance is like a plethora, or there's tons of opportunity.
All positive or whatever.
Yeah, but there's also an abundance, like you say, of tons of crap, lots of unfortunate things.
Yeah. Abundance of fear, abundance of problems.
Yeah.
That's what I had. I had an abundance of issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So why do you think people go wrong with the concept then? What do you think just the people that were talking about it, you think was really the catalyst for that kind of derailed the concept for you?
Yeah, I guess never underestimate the ignorance or the pride of mankind.
Yeah.
So we hear a word like abundance, and then we automatically believe that we're abundant, or it's oh, I am abundant. But do we really know what that is?
Yeah.
Have we ourselves? You see, I love words. I love words, and when I look up words, I like to look up the definition. I like to look up the etymology. I find the etymology of a word brings us closer to the original. So if you go Latin with a word, you get closer to the original awareness of that word. And then the longer a word stays in the world, the more it starts getting degraded and the real power of it gets reduced.
Yeah. So
the word abundance in the dictionary today is plenty of. But if you go back into the Latin, it means full, fulfilled.
Oh, really? Cool. I didn't know that.
Which is what it would be for me today. So I'm an abundance. What do you call that if somebody used to...
Like a convert or a believer?
Convert.
You believe in
recovered or...
Converted?
What the heck's that word?
Recovered skeptic is kind of what I describe myself as.
Yeah, you're a recovered skeptic, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a recovered skeptic with the word abundance.
There you go. Okay.
So with everything, the dictionary will define things, but I think we need to define things ourselves. What this is to me. If you're loving this content, remember to hit the like and subscribe button and help us get this 30-day year message out. So abundance to me is closer to the original etymology of it, which is full.
Yeah.
Like abundance is fulfillment. Now for me, abundance is inside. It's not an outside thing. It's an inside thing.
Like a feeling.
Yeah. And like inside, like a robust, joyful attitude around yourself, what's possible, and life itself. So abundance would be very closely linked to great gratitude, joy,
Just positivity in general.
adventure, awe, just curiosity. These are, for me, this is what abundance is to me. And yeah, abundance appears on the outside in the forms of nice things and in quality and quantity of things. Yes.
Yeah.
But when we start to understand that everything in our life is always moving through the center of town, right? Like I see something, where do I see it? Well, it's moving through me.
Yeah.
So how I respond to life will tell me if I have an abundant attitude or not. How I'm responding to myself will tell me if I have an abundant attitude or not.
Right. Like there's a certain amount of grace behind it then, like this allowance, like you're being allowed to kind of be free or to live how you like and enjoy things and have gratitude for that life.
I think you nailed it there. Like, I think it is grace. I think you have grace. You have grace. And when you have grace, you have abundance.
Yeah. I have actually many thoughts on abundance. So can I share 2 stories? Very different.
Share 2, but I want to share this right before you do.
Okay.
I love abundance.
Okay. There you go. You should get like a sign made for your office. Like
I'm obsessed with abundance.
that's great. I like
And
it.
abundance is a feeling. That's what it is to me. It's a feeling.
I believe that. There's like the abundant mindset, right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's a feeling.
this feeling of expansion, of opportunity, that anything that I desire to create, I can create that. I don't have to feel limited. So I have 2 stories, very different.
go
Like I
ahead.
said, okay. So like the first story, this was about 5 years ago. Abby, our daughter, she's 12 now. So she was maybe like 6 or 7, something like that. Maybe even littler. And we were reading like this Bible story gift that she'd gotten, I think, for her first communion. So she was probably 7. And I was reading this story when Jesus feeds the 5,000s to her, or feeds the 5,000 people to her. So they take like 3 fish and like 3 loaves of bread, or I don't remember the exact quantities. And then he gives thanks to God and then it multiplies. And I remember reading that to her. And then in my head, like a switch went off because we were really deep into like studying all kinds of stuff back then. We always are, but
I'm even deeper today.
for sure, yeah, you would be. But like we were into that kind of life already. Like we were studying a lot of different kinds of Troward work or Think and Grow Rich and stuff like that. So I read that and I was like, I like gasped. It was like an eureka moment. You remember like when they're sitting around the fountains in ancient Greece and the guy's like, eureka. It's like, oh my God, I finally get what this story is trying to tell me. It's trying to tell me that I can expect an abundance. And I was like, I'd never heard it that way before. It just totally landed differently. Like before I heard that story, it seemed very mystical. I was like, how could a man do that? How could Jesus do that? And it just seemed sort of like mystical, fantastical. I was like, that's pretty cool, but it didn't hit emotionally. And so when I read it to her that time, I was like, oh my God, I feel like what he's trying to say, what that story is trying to say is that we can expect an abundance. If we're in a state of grace, if we're in a state of thanks, if we like believe in the things that we're doing and we have the faith, then we can expect it. And so that was the lesson for me from that. And I remember telling Abby and she's like, oh. Like,
dumbass kid.
Well, she's just a sweetie. She's just little. But she just was like didn't get it. I was like, my energy was like way beyond what she was able to like really get. She was like, you're weird.
How old were you when that happened?
Well, if Abby was, let's say 7, that's 5 years ago. So 35. I was 35 years old. Yeah. So yeah, I finally understood that even in Scripture is trying to tell us that we can expect abundance if we are in a state of grace. So that was really cool. And that was a big moment.
What did that do for you?
It set me free. I was like allowed to want things. I was allowed to change things. I was allowed to just feel free. It felt like freedom, like a sense of freedom from that.
It's an awesome story. Can I talk about that story a little more?
Yeah.
because I've studied a lot
Okay, sure, go ahead.
that-
Because my next story is like very data driven. So it's like the
okay.
complete opposite.
That's important too. Yeah, so the story goes that Jesus is doing a sermon. He's talking to the people. He's going on a while. People are getting hungry. So then the boys are like, how the heck are we going to feed these people? So they're worried.
Oh, okay.
So
Like
they're
all his,
worried
like
that
the
there's
disciples,
lack.
you mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So they're like worried.
Yeah.
So they want to feed the people, but they're worried. So then Jesus is like, no, bro, we don't got to worry. We don't got to worry. We just bring me what you got. So bring me what we have. And I think it was like 2 loaves and 5 fish or whatever it was.
Something like that, yeah.
And there's 5,000 of them there. And all he did was look up to the Father and give thanks. Mm-hmm. And then it multiplied. Mm-hmm. And that's the root of it. It is the multiplication. So from fear and concern and limitation
Yeah.
to abundance.
Yeah.
So in my life, I call it an infinite supply. Am I operating with an infinite supply or a finite supply?
Yeah.
And that's how you make decisions based upon that, on that one single concept.
Yeah. Because it does require just faith.
Yeah, faith. So it's just a marvelous story because he's serving. The boys want to serve it's not that they don't want to, they do, but they have lack. They have perceived lack because they look at what is, not what can be. And Jesus doesn't look at what is. He always look at what can be, what is in the abundance.
Yeah.
And how do you access abundance? And it's through gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
Like the Bible is deep. This information is deep. It is so deep. It's not something you just skip across the surface. Mm-hmm. It's very deep.
Yeah.
And that's good.
It is good. I mean, it's crazy. You can spend a whole lifetime just exploring a singular concept. Like that's how deep everything gets.
That's where my life's going.
So, okay, my other story. So I think that I was in some sort of course at the time, and I think it was some type of business course. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but the teacher basically was saying that, if you're trying to like determine who your market is, like, or how many people you want to like serve in your business, let's say there's 8 billion people in the planet. So let's say you're only working with English speaking people. So that cuts you down to, I think there's 5 main primary countries in the world that speak English. And then let's say out of those people, you only want to work with women. You only want to work with men. You only want to work with entrepreneurs. You only want to work with dentists. You only want to work with nurses, whatever. You just choose those people. And then when you actually look at how many of those people exist in the world that would be considered your market, let's say there's 10 million of the types of people that you could work with in your business. And realistically, how many of those 10 million people could you serve like directly, whatever service it is that you're providing? And it's far less than that. So it's like, even if you said to yourself, I want to support 1 million people, that would keep you very busy.
Yeah.
Very, very busy. So when you start to look at it with that scope, you're like, wow. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people out there, tons, in fact, tons of them that would be your potential client or someone you can help. And even if you work every single hour of every single day for the rest of your life, you would never serve all of them.
No.
Ever. So just relax and just know that there's a lot out there and there's plenty for you to help and serve. So I found that to be really was it a freeing thought? I think it was a bit of a relief to feel like, oh, maybe I don't have to be super competitive. Maybe I can just focus on being of service and being creative and coming up with great ways to help those people. Yeah.
And here's another way to look at it too. So a lot of entrepreneurs and people, they feel limited, like, oh, there's not enough people to serve out there. Or, everyone experience where maybe you've got your first 10 clients or something. You're like, oh, where are the next 10 going to come from?
Right.
And you get afraid.
Yes.
Is there more people to serve?
Like, I worked really hard to get these 10. Like, am I ever going to find another 10?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
And so I've dedicated my life to this profession. So God willing, I live into old age with good longevity and I can do this work for another 50 years. And when I think like that, when I think in terms of that I'm committed to something for a long time or for my life with a definiteness of purpose, I will have clients and I will serve people that aren't even born yet. Yeah. So even when you look at what is, so even when you say the 8 billion people, there's more, and there's more coming.
Right.
Because when I started to work with Bob Proctor, he was 80.
Right.
And when I first saw him, he was 65.
Right.
So I never heard of him before that. Mm-hmm. So if he would have quit at 64, then I would have never.
Right. You never would have seen him.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So many people fall in, and this is not abundance. So many people fall in to the getting energy, which is the polarity of abundance. Like in the Upanishads says, from abundance, he took abundance and still abundance remained. Mm-hmm. So you never need to feel guilt about the receiving. But so you want to change your vocabulary from getting to receiving. But the only way you ever receive is if you release, if you serve people.
If you serve, yeah.
So it's like you were saying, it's like you have 1 million people to serve.
Yeah.
And maybe you get to serve like 1,000 of them, or crazy 10,000, depending on what your product and offer is.
Yeah.
But you have to fall in love with the idea of serving other people.
Yeah.
And you have to fall in love with the idea of making your business sophisticated, systematized, inspiring, attractive. And that needs to be reinvested back into your business. Why? For yourself? No. For the customer.
Yeah.
So even when a person goes, so like let's say you buy something that's $10 and you're like, oh, I gave that company $10. If that company has a 10% profit margin, they have given you back $9. Because you really only gave them $1 because they needed 9 of your dollars to serve you.
Yeah.
And then they need the one other dollar to reinvest, to grow, to survive, because nothing's allowed to stay the same. So when we purchase things, we have such a limited view of when we look at things. We're like, oh, how much that cost you? $100,000. Okay, but that cost that company $90,000. They might have had a bad year, and that you gave them 100, and you cost them 105.
Right. Yeah.
So when you start to understand abundance, you'll start to see it in everything. You'll start to see it in circulation. You'll see it within your own self and in your own life. But then you're going to start to see it in the service of other people too. And that is one of the biggest tricks and keys to actually hitting a 30-day year. You have to fall in love with the idea of serving people.
Totally. This is a great segue too, because I want to talk about creation versus competition. Because a competitive mindset would say, I have to fight for my supper. I have to compete. I need to beat the other guy so that I can win the business and keep on going. And it's almost like my success comes at someone's loss. But then you want to also think about the creative mindset, which is about reinvention and imagination and creating something. And it's really in the spirit of abundance and service, I would say. And so how can we continue to embrace this idea? Because we are in competitive industries. There is competition. There are going to be people that maybe are better than you or whatever. People are going to make a decision. Oh, I'm going to choose this business over that business, right? And so how can we stay in the abundant mindset when it is highly competitive, but maybe you're programmed to be proper competitive? Because I know I can be competitive. I grew up in a more competitive environment, with dance and things like that. And so you grew up in soccer, you guys were competitive.
Yeah, I've competitiveness.
Right? Yeah. And so, and it's not a bad thing. Competitiveness is a survival trait. There's good things about it, but how can we embrace the creative mindset?
Well, I think the only person you ever really need to compete against is yourself.
Yes, I agree.
And whenever you see someone else having, doing, being a way that you would like to have, do, and be, all you're seeing is that person, that's a testimony that can be done.
Yes.
Right? So Michael Jordan broke the records, but then other b-ball players have come after him and broke the record. Mm-hmm. So one of the greatest illustrations of an abundant mindset while breaking world records is Eliud Kipchoge, who's a marathon runner. And he was trying to run a sub-2 marathon, which is crazy. That's insane. That means the guy's got to run at 13 miles an hour for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
Most people can't even run at 13 miles an hour for like 15 seconds.
I can't. Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
The level of fitness is like
Insane. So he's trying to go sub 2. So that was the goal. And that's what goals are all about. You don't go for goals to compete. You go for goals to create, to see, to go into the inner space, into yourself, to see what else you can draw out from this abundance, to see how much more is there to you. There's more to you than meets the eye. So Iliad, he attempted it once with a team and they trained, and he was over 2 hours. And an interviewer asked him after, like, well, how do you feel, man? You failed technically. Now, he did set a record, but he didn't hit the goal. So he did set the world record, but he didn't hit the goal.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do you feel? And he said, oh, I feel fine about it. He's basically he said, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for mankind.
Right.
And he said, now we know how close we can get. He said, someone will break that record. Someone will come and will break the sub 2. Now, he did end up being that someone.
Oh, he did do it.
Yeah, he did. He is the one that did break it. I forget
Wow.
the exact time, minute 59 and
Oh my
20
gosh.
seconds or something.
So close.
Crazy. Well, yeah, they're just so calculated. So I think the guy runs 5 marathons a week, every week. It's insane. Go look it up. It's an amazing.
How long is a marathon again? How many kilometers?
40 kilometers.
42
I think it's
kilometers.
42 and 26 miles. 26 miles. So
Yeah.
that's why you'd have to run 13 miles an hour for 2 hours.
Yep. To do because he did a marathon in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's right. So, but that attitude was such a lesson to me. It's like, man, this guy is working on a consciousness level.
Yeah.
He's not working at the getting. Like when you just have that getting conscious and when you're just into yourself, that is the polarity of abundance.
Yeah.
Because you're just trying to get. So how do you move from the competitive mind to the creative mind?
Mm-hmm.
You want to create so that you can distribute to a greater way. Because circulation is a law of this universe.
Yeah.
Like you have a heart.
Yeah.
And the second that heart stops circulating blood, it's over. I had an uncle that had diabetes and he lost his legs because the circulation stopped down there and it atrophied. Where life is not circulating, life dies.
Yeah.
And that's why we need abundance. We need to really get emotionally involved in this concept of abundance.
Yeah.
And lean into it and start to create a better world for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
That is the best way to use the human mind.
Yeah.
Like you are in possession of the most powerful tool in the cosmos.
Yeah.
It's a mind. What are you using it for? And the best 2 things you can do is use it to improve your own life and use it to improve the lives of others. But at the root of that, you'd have to believe that there's an abundant supply. You'd have to believe that there's an infinite supply. Because if you think the supply is finite, you're not going to be able to distribute anything but limitation. Would you like to earn more cash in your business? I'd like to help you with my free 21-day Money Momentum Challenge. We're going to rewire your mind, turn you into a money magnet, and start to increase your income. Click the link below and get started.
And this is like why I love your brand of mindset so much, because it is about expansion and multiplication, but it is about peace of mind as well. And I would say adopting this abundant mindset is the key. Like if it's just in the service and the progress of humans and the people you work with, and you just can't lose.
Right. So it's
just, you can't feel bad at the end of the day if you know that you are doing everything you can to make things better.
So I remember, I'm going to share a couple things here. I remember when I made my first $10,000 sale as a coach.
Yeah. I do too, I think.
And I remember feeling fear leading up to saying that number. I remember when I left the house, you yelling out the door at me, "Know your worth! Know your worth!"
Yeah, I remember sitting on the couch, like watching like Game of Thrones or something.
I don't know.
That was probably what I was doing.
Yeah, you're watching it and you look over your shoulder. Know your worth.
Yeah, I was on
know
mat
your
leave.
worth.
I remember that.
And you're like, you can charge 10. You're worth 10. You're worth 10.
Yeah.
Charge far more than that today, but that was a huge piece to get over.
Yeah.
And why was that? Because I didn't have that abundance mindset yet. And I remember when I received the payment, when I received that money, I remember feeling fear.
Interesting.
Like there was a part of me that was programmed that if I receive from somebody, if I'm compensated, that person is now in danger. They can get in trouble because they
gave you that money.
Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So there's a concept that I've incorporated into my belief system. You don't get paid from people, you get paid through people. So when I look at a person, like even as I look at you right now, it's almost, like a baby has a placenta. Like
when they're in the womb, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when the fetus has a source, they have a source for their life. So here they are, but in behind them is their source, and that's the placenta. And for me, I see that it's not a placenta, but if I look at you, behind you, there is a source of your life. You are not the source of your life. There is a power greater than you that is the source of your life. And your thinking and your belief system will control what is flowing from this infinite supply. So you don't get paid from people. So I never need to take anything from you. I never need to trick you or manipulate or whatever the hell I got to do, or rob you or whatever people do to each other.
Right.
I don't need to do that. I need to release the quality of energy into another because I am connected. I'm detached. I'm connected to an infinite supply. So I can, when there's an infinite supply and when there's abundance, you can distribute with ease, but you can also receive with ease. So a lot of these people that used to repel me from this word abundance, they weren't great at receiving. Like it was shocking to me when I received the 10 grand and I had guilt and fear.
Right.
I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
What's going on? What is my programming? What is my paradigm that's causing this? So I know I don't do business with people anymore.
Yeah.
I do business with the infinite supply. And the infinite supply never fails.
And you just set up my next kind of section perfectly, talking about the infinite supply. Is just go a little deeper on that, what that means.
So the infinite supply, when we look at it through the cosmos, science says that energy is neither created nor destroyed. So everything that ever was, everything that is, and everything that ever will be, all of the energy is already there. So we've always had the ability to fly in an airplane. We just didn't have the awareness of it. So all of the things required to fly.
Image.
What's that?
Have the image of it.
Yeah, we didn't have the image and we didn't have the awareness. So you can get a goal, but if you don't have the awareness that you can do it, then you're not going to pursue that goal either, and you won't manifest it. So we've always had all of the raw materials, which is energy, has always been there to do anything that mankind has ever done. There's an infinite supply.
Yeah.
The universe itself is expanding at like over 300 million kilometers a second. It's like beyond the scope of reason. It's like moving faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, it's wild.
Where's it getting
like,
all that energy?
It's just hard to even fathom.
Right.
Yeah.
So our sun is going to burn out in like 4.5. So our sun is even finite.
Yes. It's like 400 billion years or something?
4 billion, I
4
think. It's got like
billion.
4
Okay.
billion left or something.
Okay.
So, but it's only been running for 4. I think it's like halfway there. I remember the first time I used to watch this magazine called Wolfen. And the first time I ever saw like a red, so in my mind, suns were only like yellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember seeing a red sun and a blue sun and a green sun. And it scared the hell out of me.
Those are the primary colors too, which is also very interesting.
Okay, so yeah.
All colors come from those 3 colors.
Well, there you go. And the color of the sun that the sun is emitting, the star is emitting, says if it's burning out or not. So I learned that suns die. And when a sun dies, then it turns into a black hole, and then that part is getting sucked right back. But it's like, okay, we got our sun, right?
Yeah.
Where did all the energy come to create the sun and the other like trillion suns that are in our universe? Where's all the energy coming from for this rapid, mind-boggling expansion? Where is it? Where's it coming from? That is the infinite supply. And what human beings do not know or are very unaware of, that our imagination is hooked into that infinite supply because we are creative beings. So I don't ever need to get anything from you. I need to move into a creative state of mind. So even to say like to move from the competitive mind to the creative mind,
Yeah.
that will take a significant amount of education, and it will take a significant amount of fundamental belief systems that permit you to stay in a creative mindset. So when I think about like, so if we're going to go abundance, we got to think about potential. So how I talk about potential is, imagine this. Let's say there's an ocean. Okay. Now the truth is your potential and the abundance is greater than the ocean because it's infinite.
Yeah.
But let's say it's an ocean.
Yeah.
And your life, what controls how much potential and abundance you access? It's your thinking.
Yeah.
So if you imagine like a straw, like a little juice box straw, and you are like hooked into the ocean, you're hooked in the Atlantic Ocean, and and it's just like pouring out, and that's your life. So then what we do is we set goals. So our thinking is the straw, like the tube, that's our thinking. We have way more power. You ask any human being on this planet, who here feels that they're destined for more? Everyone is going to say, I do. Who here feels that they could get better? Everyone's going to say, I do.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's true, based upon our thinking. So when we set a goal, what we're doing is we're changing that little juice box straw to like a big gulp straw or a slush straw or a what's 7-Eleven? What are those called? Big gulps.
Like those huge thick ones.
Yeah, you're going to like a big gulp
Yeah, I
straw,
know what you're
right?
talking about. They're like super
Right.
straws or something.
And that's what goals are all about. You see, goals aren't to get
No.
or to escape. I see so many people like just want to escape their life.
Yes.
And I guess that's okay in the beginning. If it's bad enough and you want to get out, then that's good.
It's motivation
But
to change.
It's not enjoy. You can't keep setting goals. You can't keep living like
Yeah.
that, because then you realize that it's not about the getting. It's about the growing. It's about the expressing of this infinite potential that is inside yourself. So when you switch to a big gulp straw, all that's happening is more of that potential, more of that life is flowing through. And then hopefully you get to the place you do like a Fat Tuesday straw, like on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah.
And like it's just a bigger straw and more of that flows through. That's abundance. So the abundance.
So the straw, just to stop you for a sec, the straw is the thinking.
Yes.
So like the lens that you basically look through, essentially, that's the straw. And then the water coming out is the potential that you can access.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's ocean level. The truth is the straw versus the ocean is not even like totally accurate because your abundance is infinite. So it's beyond the scope of your imagination.
Yeah, there's more.
But just for a perspective, abundance is the ocean, and what you're accessing is a juice box straw. There is a hell of a lot more abundance for you if you're willing to change your thinking. And that foundationally is what the 30-day year is all about. It's about setting goals that are changing the straw. Because folks, it is not about the getting. It is about what you are expressing into this world.
Yeah.
And the more you start to express, the more you can circulate more abundance. I actually believe that us as human beings, we are called to distribute more of this power. You go into any religion and they'll say, if you read it, they'll say it. They'll be saying it. We are called to distribute love. And like that's what we are. Man, the word man in Sanskrit just means measurement. So what are we? We are a vessel and a distribution center. So a lot of the abundance people that used to repel me, I used to hear some of them even say like that they are God. And it's like, okay, well, that's dangerous because I know for a fact I'm not God. Like I can, there's a point where I could barely shave my own face. Like I know I'm not God.
Yeah.
I don't make anything grow. I can facilitate growth, but I don't make anything grow. It's the abundance that does all of that.
Right.
So what's my role in the whole thing? My role is to distribute it. And the more detached and the more creative I can become and getting out of the selfish and getting energy, then the more powerful vessel I will become for that.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. How can we shape that abundant thinking? You mentioned goals. So goals is like the starting point. But I think you said something about your belief system basically has to change. So like how do we just start right now today?
keep an eye. So if this concept is new to you of an infinite supply, the key to abundance is humility. So what abundance is to me is abundance is a feeling. And when I feel a certain way, I can do certain things. So what I have to do is I have to keep my eye on the way that I'm feeling. If I don't like the way I'm feeling, I need to start to change my thinking, because my thinking is what's generating the feelings, right? Like when you hear a bad news, you feel low.
Yeah, you do. You can.
Yeah,
Once
like
you become consciously aware of that when you watch something about current events, it can drag you down.
I do in some of the workshops, the visualization workshops that I do. I will say all these different situations, and then you just watch everyone change the way they feel just by the images they have in their head. I'll give them I'll say, think about this, a really pleasant thing, and like you literally see smiles on people's faces. And then I'll say, think about this, and then you'll just see kind of like a bland, like a neutral kind of idea. Nothing exciting. Like, think about some blue sticky tack on a wall. It's like, well, okay, that's kind of boring. And then they're just kind of go flat and neutral. And then I get them to image something that's just really unpleasant. And then boom, like that. I'll even have people that I tell them to think about something that's unpleasant, and some of them will open their eyes. They just want to get out of that feeling, get out of that image.
Yeah.
So it's the images that are causing the feelings.
Yeah.
So what do we have to do is we have to start to take control of the ideas that we're thinking. Is this an abundant thought? When I go to make decisions, am I making decisions based on lack and a finite supply because I've been programmed to live through the physical world in the third dimension? Or am I making decisions based on an infinite supply? And the only way to access the infinite supply is through faith, because you have to believe that there's another power that will support you. So we did a podcast on decision making, and I said the root of decision making is clarity and desire, but really it is support. So when you start feeling abundant, when you start to live through abundance, you'll be perpetually supported. Right? Why don't people donate as much as they want? Why don't people give as much as they want? In the Bible, there's a story where the rich man gives like $10, and then the poor woman gives a penny. And then Jesus is like, this poor woman is far greater than the rich man. Now, people, because they resent people with money, and there's all kinds of crazy beliefs and paradigms around money, they'll jump and say, oh, well, being rich is bad. So it just kind of amplifies that paradigm.
Right, but it's just her faith was stronger.
It's because she went beyond, because she did generosity.
Well, her faith was stronger.
Generosity is a child of abundance, because it's the expression of abundance.
Yeah. No,
not just run-of-the-mill giving. Real generosity to go outside of where you're currently at.
Yeah.
Get out of the getting. Fall in love with the idea of serving people. Fall in love with the idea of improving yourself. And fall in love with the idea of improving yourself so you can serve people better. You fall in love with those three things, you don't ever have to worry about the getting. It'll all flow back in.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Was it an easy journey for you to sort of like accept abundance? Like once you kind of changed your ways from where you started at the beginning, you were saying not changed your ways, but changed your mindset around it?
I just think a lot of people teaching it were full of shit. So I'm into spirit. I'm into abundance. I just thought that they're just kind of full of shit. They're hypocrites. It didn't add up.
But it did, like for you right now, like today, you don't think about your abundance of problems. You think about it differently when you think
very
of
different.
Abundance.
Yeah,
like even the word has changed for you.
Yeah, like even right now on this podcast, like I feel abundance right now.
Yeah.
And what I learned is that abundance has to be chosen every day.
Yeah. You can snap back.
Oh, every day. But when you wake up, you have to choose abundance. Like the moment I open my eyes, I choose abundance. I consciously choose abundance. That today magic can happen. Today I can be free. Today I can be generous. Today I can receive at the level that matches my goals, that match what I believe I've been called to be and to do in this world. There's been certain moments in my life that in the last 9 years that have really broken through these moments in my life where I was more generous than I've ever been. And there was these moments of generosity that kind of broke my paradigm. And I did have to push through those because I was giving at a level that really did seem unsupported. And I was terrified to do it. I pushed through because I wanted to explore this idea of abundance. I want to explore this idea of generosity. And it's never let me down.
I love that. Awesome. This is a great convo on abundance. Do you have any final thoughts, or have you feel like you've laid it all out there?
Abundance is a two-way street. So you have to get comfortable with generosity, but it's not just in the giving. You have to get comfortable with the receiving. Because as you receive, you can distribute more. So when you start to understand abundance, you will start to understand circulation. You can't just keep giving and never filling back up, allowing it to flow back in.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to keep that circulation.
Right.
And abundance is a feeling. It's not a thought, it's a feeling.
If this podcast is opening your eyes to powerful new ideas, helping you think bigger, and opening your level of awareness, be sure to hit subscribe right now and leave us a 5-star review. That will help us reach more ambitious people just like you ready to grow.